Appoint a board for the Security and Exchanges Commission now. That's coming from a youth group, the Dynamic Youth Movement of Ghana. The group believes the absence of a board has made it illegal for the issuance of a 2.25 billion bond, which is already in contention, and has given the president 15 days to appoint. We know the minority NDC has petitioned the U.S. Securities and Exchanges Commission to probe the matter, whilst Straj also does same. So what exactly does this group want? Convener of the group, Edward Tutor, is with me in the studio, and we'll find out from him what difference the appointment of a board would make for the process. You're welcome.
Yeah,
and thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me too.
Right, so you're asking the president to appoint a board. What is the relationship between the appointment of the board and dealing with the situation at hand? Yeah,
thank you very much. I think I'll say a very good afternoon to all your cherished viewers. Since the 3rd of April 2017, that the Ministry of Finance announced that it has actually contracted a 2.25 billion bond, there has been a lot of controversy. The minority in Parliament has actually leveled serious allegations against government. Government, also in a rebuttal, also said that they've done nothing wrong. So it's been like a back and forth argument. But looking at the securities industry law, the law clearly says that if there's any argument, any debate, if there's any problem with any security in this country, it lies within the ambit of the Securities and Exchange Commission to investigate and bring clarity to the matter. So we actually took it upon ourselves as a youth pressure group to petition SEC. And we presented a petition to them on the 8th of May.
Okay, has there been a response?
Yes, there's been a response. And the response is that SEC does not have a board. So because of that, they cannot sit on the matter and do their investigations.
That's why you have issued a 15-day ultimatum to the president to appoint.
If you should look at Section 2 of the Securities Industry Law, the law says that the president, in consultation with the Council of State, should appoint the SEC board. Yes, so now we have written to the president officially where the Flagstaff House this morning. We know he's out of the country at the moment, but we've left a copy. We are received very warmly, and they assured us that once the president comes, they are going to let him know of this particular letter.
After 15 days, the 15-day ultimatum, if you still don't get a response, what are you going to do?
Yes, there are so many options that are available to us. But at the moment, we don't want to be prejudicial. We trust the president. We trust his crusade against anti-corruption. We trust his crusade against good accountability and probity. So we, the youth of this nation, we trust him, and we know that he's going to do due diligence. He's going to heed to our call, and within 15 days, we know that he's going to form the board. We don't want to be prejudicial to think that he does not take this matter seriously, being mindful of the gravity of the controversy that it has generated since the board issue actually came in. Yes, so in conclusion, we are praying the president to form the board, but after 15 days, if nothing is done, Denmark will surely take another course of action.
I see. And what's in this for you? Is there anything in this for you?
Personally, or even as a group, there's nothing in it for us. But we believe that for the sake of posterity, Ghana is a very great nation, and we believe that our public officials must always be held accountable for their actions. Okay. We believe that even for the image of our securities industry to the outside world, there should be sanctity, there should be transparency, there should be trust. The way we do our things in this country, as government, as youth, private sector, parents, children, in every capacity in which you find yourself, you should be able to do due diligence and inspire confidence, so that other people who come and look up to us can know that over here we are doing a good job to ourselves.
So you're doing this in the interest of the nation. Very well done to you then. Edward Tutor Sparrow, is that correct?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. Sparrow. Edward Tutor Sparrow is convener of the Dynamic Youth Movement of Ghana, and they are petitioning President Akufo-Addo to appoint a board of the Securities and Exchanges Commission, because they believe that that will go a long way to solve the problem at hand, talking about the 2.25 billion issuance of bond, which he says has been a back and forth issue between the politicians. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you too.
Well, away from that, the medical director of the Ridge Hospital has challenged the authority of the Health Minister, Kwame, for terminating his contract. The Health Minister issued a statement relieving Thomas Anaba of his position at the health facility after 1.5 years of work there. This directive has not gone down well with Mr. Anaba, who has vowed to remain at post. He's been explaining his reasons in this interview with Hannah Odami.
If somebody makes a mistake and say hand over immediately, and you think you can't over immediately, at least you have to tell him that you can't do that immediately. I can't hand over immediately. I have to write a report, the state of the hospital, how I met it and how I'm leaving it. And I can't do that anywhere. I have to come to my office and do that with my fellow administrators who are working with me.
So are you going to leave because you've been asked to leave?
No. I am writing up something depending on what the final thing would be, so that I have it ready at hand. If at the end they respond and I'm satisfied with it, I leave. If they say I should stay, then I stay. It is not for nothing. It can stay. Okay. Yeah.
But whilst you are writing, you're handing over, you're also contesting and challenging the directive by the minister for you to be transferred back to UDS.
Yes, I'm not. It's not actually like a handing over. No, it's something just to prepare to have at hand.
Okay.
Because in these moments you don't know what can happen to you.
Okay.
Because a lot of issues are coming up and a lot of things are flying around regarding me, so I have to prepare documents down to know the state of the hospital at any given time.
Exactly. Right? But you are contesting and challenging the directive.
Oh yes, sure, I'm doing it. Why? It's something I have to do. It is illegal. It's power drunk. It's unfair. It is humiliating to just tell somebody who got an appointment for 4 years, within a twinkle of an eye, you just send a letter without even telling him, conversing with him, and that you are sacked. Go back to where you came from. I think we have to put the record straight that this thing should stop in Ghana. It should not continue. It should never happen to any civil servant that an appointed president appointee should terminate his appointment. The only person who can terminate my appointment is Ghana Health Service Council, not a minister. Yeah.
And so what are you saying that he should have done? Because he doesn't want to hear. He said you should go back to UDS.
Yes. If he wants me to go back to UDS, I'm going back with the same conditions of service as a medical director, the position of a medical director, because I still have 4 years, 3 years to go. So he sent me back, get me my accommodation, fully furnished accommodation, 2 security officers, get my children back to Tamale in school because I brought them here already, get my wife back to Tamale, and then let them give me a position there in the UDS as a medical director of a regional hospital, because he's saying it's a transfer now. He has changed his mind. That is a transfer. So transfer requires that he does all that. He must chat with them. But unfortunately, in his letter, he didn't even copy UDS. He didn't copy them. It means that I think he was in a hurry with an ill motive to remove me.
Why would you say it's ill motive?
It's ill motive because the letter is in itself doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
Exactly?
Because you can't just tell somebody you are restructuring the hospital when I was given the responsibility to restructure the hospital. So does it mean that all what I did, that we spent, all the money we spent to develop strategies, concept papers, strategic plans, operational protocols for the new hospital are going to be rubbished? He may be competent somewhere, but he himself said it that he's not very good in health. He knows nothing about health. They say, oh, me, I'm going there, but I don't know anything about health. I'll come and learn. And I'm sure he's learning and making mistakes.
So how exactly would you want this to be done?
How do I want it to be done?
Yes.
Rescind his decision.
Why?
Because it's not correct. There's no council to decide for him to take an action.
So you still want to be at post at the medical director of which hospital?
Me, I'm in the hospital.
Okay.
If they bring work, I will do. If they don't bring work, I'm in the hospital.
So he says that you've been transferred with immediate effect. You are still here working.
Yeah.
Is that right?
When the new place calls me that they have everything that I need to come and start work, per the minister's own words, transferred. When the Dr. Naba, your bungalow is ready, your security is ready, your office is ready, come and work, I go. Because I know UDS hasn't got that position.
So until that, you're not moving and
why should I move? Why should I obey an illegal, flooded administrative letter? I can't obey that. If I do that, you see, it will happen to other people and happen to more people. It will discourage other people. Anybody can also sit somewhere and just write it like that.
What characteristics of the letter are you describing as illegal and flawed?
It's illegal because he's not the one to fire me. He has no authority to fire me. That is wrong. Okay. And the other characteristic is that his letter even hasn't got a reference number. Ministers cannot write without a reference. And when they go to the ministry right now, you can't see that letter. You can't see it. When he leaves office, you can't see that letter. Because where are they going to file it? There's no way to file it. So it's not correct. And the language that he used, he even didn't thank you for the good work you have done or for the work that you have done. See, transfers are done from the same position to from the same position to the same position. You can't transfer me as a manager to a lecturer. No, you can't do that. That's not a transfer. And if he's claiming that I'm taking salary from UDS, that shows how little he understands the civil service. And since this minister came, I've not been able to have a peace of mind. Every day, it's a group of people going to his office from Rich Hospital to allege things, or is the Director General coming to the hospital to talk harshly to me before my colleagues. So I just sense that there's something.
You think there's a sabotage?
Oh, I think there's a big sabotage.
Are you not belittling the integrity of the minister as a result of his directive to you?
Oh, no, his integrity is in big doubt. To me, it's in very big doubt. Because you can't do that. You can't say you release somebody and publish that you have sacked and go and say you've transferred. Which is release and which is transfer? So transfer is the same institution. It's Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health.
Okay, so you're resolute.
Yes.
For now, you're not leaving
until I'm in the
every
office.
Condition of service at UDS where you're told to go is put in place.
Yes. Why? But we have written a letter to them to respond. Yeah.
From your lawyers?
Yes.
What exactly do you want from them?
To reverse his decision.
So that you stay on?
Yes.
Or which of them? So that you stay on?
So I stay on.
Or to go to UDS?
He should reverse the decision and apologize that he erred to Ghanaian people for flouting civil service regulations.
Not to you, not to apologize.
It's Ghanaians, because I'm a Ghanaian. I came to change this hospital. And I have done a very good job. I know it. I'm not praising myself, but I know it.
But remember, it is the some of your staff here who you claim have been going behind you to also say that you're not doing a good job.
Yes, he published it from his office. That staff came to meet him with fake names. The names of those staff, we came to check, they are not our staff. So it means he doesn't want to expose their identity. So the minister himself is protecting the staff here who are giving him wrong information. So how can you, a minister, be meeting people that way? Look, nobody, according to Ghana Health Service, you can't go straight to the minister's office to give a report about your director. You have to write to the district director, to the regional director, to the director general before they take it to the minister. But they went straight to the minister's office. Why was there? Are there his boys here? Is he having a team here working for him who don't respect the channels of communication?
Have you ever had an interaction with the minister as a result of this?
After that, yes. When the people went and met him, I went to explain to him.
And was there a conversation prior to this directive for you to leave?
No, there was never a conversation.
You didn't know anything?
There was rather harassment from the Director General.
Here, of the Ghana Health Service?
Yes.
Do you remember that your coming here was even fraught with some issues from the staff?
That is a laughable one, because not the staff. I'll tell you, it was from Dr. Sofenyo and a few staff.
You have evidence for that?
Oh, yeah, no. Oh, he petitioned the president. He petitioned the then president. Or you were not aware of that?
So
you can call that an interesting conversation. More of that in a subsequent bulletins, of course, with reactions.